and the entire GST mechanism is entirely digital. Organizations as taxpayers are also required to stay in sync with this digital transformation through automation. RSM India is at the forefront of not just the tax compliance and advisory services, but also on automation. For those of you who are not very familiar with RSM, let me just briefly introduce RSM. RSM is the 6th largest accounting consulting group in the country, with 12 offices across major cities of India and a total team strength of around 1,800 people. It is part of RSM International, which in turn is the 6th largest accounting consulting group worldwide, with operations in 120 countries. So now going ahead with the specific context of the webinar, I hope I am audible to everyone. If there is any, if I'm not audible, if the slides are not coming proper, please write in the chat box. I can see in the chat box a few people mentioning that there is no sound, but I presume I am audible. So it could be specific settings of a few people. So you may probably check your setting because otherwise I think for everyone else I am audible. So the specific context of the webinar of today, as we all know, the GST Council has set up a very clear roadmap for input credit and related aspects, especially in context of refunds, where it is 100% as per 2A and 2B, and for other purposes it is 110% of 2A and 2B. The onus has been put on all the registered users or the to ensure compliance of their vendors. Not just compliances in order to avail the credit, it is important that the vendors submit their invoices and details in time. And all this has a significant host of challenges for the businesses. There could be error in accounting or reporting. There is a time lag between the transaction and the issue of invoice, as well as the details being reported on the GSTN. The companies need to also ensure that the supply chain is not disrupted because of GST, especially if it is MSME companies, very like many small companies who are liable to GST and GST compliances, but are not really equipped for the same, which is a matter of concern for larger companies while availing credit. Vendors facing liquidity constraints, and especially in the COVID pandemic, integration of GST data with enterprise infrastructure on real-time basis, especially in the context of e-invoicing, we will see later, it has to be a real-time invoice upload to the GSTN. And for all this, doing it manually is almost impossible to imagine. There is a need for a lot of technology intervention so that it can be done seamlessly and easily. And therefore, that is where automation comes into picture. The matter of immediate concern, especially for most of the companies, is the 20th October deadline to avail the financial year 19-20 related input credits. There are a host of other deadlines which are also on 20th October, and therefore that date becomes extremely important. And if these credits are not availed or missed, or if there is calculation error or whatever, there could be grave financial implications for the companies. So it is in this context that the webinar of today is extremely important, where our team is going to take you through some of the automation bots that we have created in order to be of help to you. So the agenda for the webinar of today is that we will start with the reconciliation bot. Mohit Parihar, our senior consultant and who has led this entire project of reconciliation bot, is going to talk to you about identifying missed credits for FY 19-20, ongoing input credit validation before making vendor payments, ongoing input credit validation before filing monthly returns. He'll take around 25 odd minutes, and he'll also run you through the live demonstration of the automation bot so that you can get a feel of how exactly it is going to work. After that, my colleague Savan Sharma, he is going to take a session on e-invoicing tool. Again, he'll run you through the product features and give a live demonstration on how exactly the tool is going to work. Probably it is going to be around 10-minute session. After that, we'll have a question and answer session open for all the participants. I would request the participants to put their questions, queries in the chat box so that we can respond those queries at the end of the session. And later on, the closing remarks as well as the next steps will be taken up by Rajesh Maniar, my colleague, and again, a director of RSM who is looking after this entire automation initiative. So with this, again, I welcome all of you to this important webinar cum demonstration session organized by RSM India. And we now go ahead into the session. I'll request Mohit Parihar to take it over from here and enlighten our guests. Thank you. Mohit, you are on mute, maybe?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Nirav sir, for giving us the brief introduction about the today's session. And good evening to everyone. As just mentioned by Nirav sir, one such bot developed by RSM is GST ITC reconciliation bot. This bot has many utilities. The first one being missed credits validation bot. So what this bot really does for you is that before uh, uh, filing your GSTR 3B return for September 2020, run this bot and immediately get an output of the credits, input tax credits that are appearing in 2A but not available in your purchase register, or the credits that are available or reflecting in 2A but not claimed in 3B. So what this first bot really does for you is it compares your purchase register to your GSTR 2A and accordingly gives you a list of vendor invoices that are reflecting in 2A and not there in purchase register or not claimed in 3B. So that's bot number one. Then the second bot with respect to input tax credit is prepayment ITC reconciliation bot. So everyone, what this bot really does is that before you make payment to your vendors, this bot can check which invoices are reflecting in GSTR 2A and which invoices are not reflecting in GSTR 2A, and accordingly give you a red or green indicator. Red indicator meaning reflecting in 2A, green indicator meaning not green indicator meaning reflecting in 2A, red indicator meaning not reflecting in 2A. So accordingly, you could kind of have a greater control over your input tax credit. The third bot is basically your ITC availment bot, which basically which can be used by you while you're filing monthly compliance, and it completely automates your input tax rate reconciliation. So while as just discussed, there is a greater emergency to ensure by 20th October, all the credits that are available in 2A are claimed by the company. We will be today focusing alongside afterwards. I'll be taking you through prepayment ITC validation bot as well. So I think it's almost three and a half years in GST regime, and many of us, almost all of us, are aware about the challenges that we have faced while basically filing returns or even using various softwares. So we have really kept all of those challenges in mind, and then accordingly developed this solution. What we have developed, it's just a three steps to be followed to realize this solution. So step number one is basically providing inputs to the bot. Let us say you have to do financial year 1920 in input tax rate reconciliation. The step number one by the company would be to just provide the inputs to the bot. Then step number two is bot would automatically download the data from the using the GST APIs. And step number three would be bot would do the reconciliation on its own and provide you the provide the company back the output deliverable. So let me just quickly make you run through the demo of the bot as to how it really works. So as I just said, providing the inputs to the bot. So here, all of us know, and all of us have been there, that when you are trying to use a auto reconciliation tool, a tool which kind of helps you do auto reconciliation, everyone has faced these challenges that while using a ASP or a GSP application, and while providing inputs to the application, or while providing while importing the data to the application, one challenge everyone has faced is that we get multiple errors, and after multiple attempts, are we able to successfully import the data to the application? Or even after importing the data to the application, you get a lot of the input is not complete. The time taken by any user to import the data to the bot, to the ASP or other ASP or GSP application is humongous. So bearing this in mind, what we really did is we tried to simplify and enhance the input process to the bot. So let us say you use this bot, you just have to do 4 things. Those 4 things are just outlined over here as a demo. First thing what you would have to do is you have to just export your purchase register from ERP. Let us say you want to do reconciliation for 1920, then you just export the purchase register from ERP relating to financial year 1920. So once you have exported the register, then next step would be that for running this bot, there are 10 minimum fields required. Those 10 minimum fields are supplier name, invoice number, invoice date, supplier GSTIN, then taxable value, invoice value, and the GST amount. So these 10 fields need to be identified from the purchase register, and accordingly, what one needs to do is that just change the name in your current purchase register, just change the name of this to the RSM standard. So we have just made a standard naming convention for these fields to ensure automation. So just you change document date to vendor invoice date or whatever is your field name, just change it accordingly, and you are done. That's the only thing what is required from your side. So this bot is very flexible. So whatever is the format of your purchase register, you just import it, you just export it, and you can provide it as an input to the bot as it is. No other further changes are required. So, and one more unique thing over here, what I would like to mention is that the company's purchase register might contain many different fields which is required for uh, uh, doing various analysis. Like for example, it might have document number, it might have the division, it might have uh, which type of vendor it is, various fields it would have. So all of those fields, whatever are there in the purchase register, which comes from the system, no need to remove these fields. You can just keep the fields as it is. And while we give the output back to you, all of these fields will get written as it is, so that you can do further analysis on this. Okay. So once you have renamed these fields, if you want to use this bot, you have to forward the data to RSM bot. So how you can forward the data to RSM bot is you can send this Excel file to a standard email ID called as bot at astuteconsulting.com. So that's it. So once you have done this much, the role from your side is over. Then the GST input tax rate bot takes over. So you really saw the first part of the demo. Uh, Before it took a lot of time for one to do the importing to the ASP or GSP, but we kind of trying to solve this issue by making it fast and time saving, and whatever format you give to us, that format will get imported to the bot as it is. And also one more thing what I'd like to mention is that, to do the reconciliation, there is no limit to the number of invoices that can be processed. Even 1 million invoices or more than that can be processed in one go. So that's about input. So once you forwarded the data to RSM bot uh, via this purchase register, then the bot identifies which client it is and accordingly starts downloading the two-way data. So here now what you're seeing is that the bot is automatically downloading the two-way data. One thing that is worth noting over here, and which I would like to mention, is that RSM India is a registered ASP authorized with the GST network, which really means that we can provide tailored and customized solutions for you. So now what you really see over here is that the bot is automatically downloading the data for the entire financial year in one go. First it downloaded B2B, then it's downloading B2B A invoices, then it would be downloading CDN and CDNA. So it's downloading all the set of two-way data required for reconciliation in one go. So for a medium-sized client or a small client, the data would get downloaded in a couple of minutes. But let us say if the client is, if the company is having 30-35 registrations, the bot can download the data for entire 30-35 registrations or whatever in up to 2 hours. 2 hours. Okay. So once the input has been given to the bot, then the bot completes the downloading in real time, fastly. Then what really happens is the bot does the reconciliation and provides you the output. So now I would like to show you the actual output which has come from the bot, and would like to show you how easily you can use this output to avail the miscredits in two-way. So the output would have the purchase register which you gave as it is with the various fields. Then it would have the two-way data downloaded from the portal, and it would have various dashboards. Uh, Hope everyone is able to see my Excel screen. Okay, hopefully everyone is able to see. Okay, so once the output has come, what you can really do is you can go to two-way, you can go to status column and just filter on not found in purchase register, filter on financial year 2021, and then you get out of the total, let's say 5,000 records, there are 890 records, 91 records which are not found in purchase register. These are the records which are basically appearing in two-way, but they are not really found in purchase register. So one can just do this filtration, and after a simple manual verification, one can claim all of these credits in their October 2020 return. So this is this is the bot has made the process this simple. So and also one more thing what I would like to highlight over here is that one thing what all of us have experienced is that it takes there is a lot of accounting error by the finance team. Sometimes they make a mistake in punching the invoice number. There are some blank spaces. Then vendor, when it's filing its return, they might add some more characters like financial year 1920, making the all because of various practical challenges. Auto reconciliation becomes sometimes become practically 100% auto reconciliation becomes challenging. So to kind of counter that issue, what we have really done is we have really worked hard on ensuring the matching accuracy is very high. If the matching accuracy is very high, then the near to 100% automation is achieved. So, based on our past experience of running this bot for clients ranging from clients having invoices ranging from 5,000 invoices to clients having invoices up to 7.5 lakh invoices in just one run. We have run that, and we have achieved almost 98 to 99% accuracy in this case. So this is one salient feature where I think a majority of the ASPs or GSPs are not providing that. The output of the tool what we have prepared, it gives 98 99% accuracies, which means that the amount of time which the companies were spending in doing the reconciliation manually, almost 90%, 95% of the time goes away. Then the companies have to only spend a little time just checking and then accordingly claiming the input. Secondly, this output is very user friendly. You see over here, it gives you a status column along with whatever have been matched is in green color, and whatever has not been matched are in a red color. So it's very visually appealing, very easy to consume for a end user. Then it also gives, then this output also gives you state level mismatch and head level mismatch. So what this really means is that, let's say a company has multiple registrations. If the company has multiple registrations, and let us say a vendor's invoice has been accounted in Karnataka state, but the vendor by mistake would have given the credit in, let's say, Maharashtra registration of ours. Then the bot identifies those things as state level mismatch, and accordingly, if we have accounted an invoice as a IGST invoice, but the client has given it as a CGST, or vendor has given it as a CGST or SGST invoice, then accordingly that also gets highlighted for corrective action. For example, you would see over here that this invoice has been identified as a head level mismatch. In purchase register, we have accounted this invoice as a CGST and SGST, and in 2A, this invoice has been accounted as IGST. Yeah. So this kind of mismatches also the bot identifies for your corrective action. Then one more thing. What is really salient about this output is, as I mentioned to you before, that whatever inputs you are giving to us at the time of input, all of those fields the bot retains as it is. May it be any field you are giving. So this really kind of helps the companies to further dig down, do deep analysis as they require to, and yeah. And also one more thing unique about this output is that each invoice in purchase register has a unique index number. It never matches to one another, and same way in 2A, each invoice has a unique index number. So if you want to really know that which invoice this has matched, which invoice of 2A this record has matched, then just go to 2A, search for the index number, and you'll get to know that this is the invoice number that this record has matched against. So accordingly, these are the salient features, and also there are various dashboards available. And in the interest of time, I'm not running you through each dashboards in detail. You have various dashboards or summaries available as to vendor reco, as per books, as per 2A difference, category, short declared, not accounted, accounted. You have various categories and various such dashboards available. So yeah, so this is what is more about our missed credits validation bot, wherein we have made the process very simple for you, and let us say that, if you share the data with us by today evening, and we have your user credentials, and we have the OTP to download the two-way data from the website. If you share the data with us by today evening, before tomorrow morning, we can share back the output deliverable to you. So, we are uh, we will ensure that there is no time lag, and, you get the output in next to zero working hours SLA. Uh, SLA. So I think this would really help you quickly uh, claim all your credits, best credits by October 20th. So that was our first bot, which we can turn around quickly to you. The second bot, I would like to move on to second bot now. The second bot is basically our prepayment ITC validation bot. So in essence, as I mentioned to you, what this bot really does is that whenever now currently all of us are facing this challenge. The challenge really is that whenever you are trying, so basically all of us are trying to do a post facto reconciliation, meaning after a quarter or after some time we try to do a reconciliation, and we are left to the mercy of the vendor sometimes, that if they are not giving us credit, we are not able to take the credit. But now we have thought of this, and we have come up with a solution which many clients are currently using, is that uh, before you make payments to your vendors, so I generally typically in any company, what would happen is the accounts payable team would do a payment run using a F110 code or a similar code in other ERP. They would and arrive at the various invoices that are due for payment this week. Suppose, for example, you have like 2,000 invoices that are due for payment this week. You give us you give us those invoices in the same format what we discussed for in the minimum fees as request for. Along with that, you just give us the purchase register from 1st April to date, and the vendor master. Vendor master is for giving us the vendor email IDs. So if you just give us this data, what this bot actually will do is it will basically identify which invoices for which the company is going to make payment is appearing into it, and which invoices are not appearing into it. So accordingly, you see over here is a sample output of my payment run. Let's say you're going to make 167 payments this week. It would give, out of that 167 payments, how many are matching? 111 records are matching. There are one record where there's a mismatch. Then there are 35 records which are not found in 2A. And also what it does is that for the invoices where the due date of filing returns has not elapsed. For example, this bot was run somewhere in the last week of September. So it basically identifies which vendors are quarterly filers or monthly filers. So the bot itself does that identification, and accordingly, for the invoices where the due date has not elapsed, the due date of filing returns have not elapsed, for those invoices, it checks the previous history of the vendors. And accordingly gives a indicator: the due date not elapsed, previously compliant; due date not elapsed, previously defaulting. So what it really means is that you have a clear output to take action on, wherein for all the green invoices, you could go ahead and make the payment to the vendors. For all the red invoices, you could take some stringent action according to as you wish to. For example, you could hold on that partial payment of GST, or you could hold on this specific invoice payment, and you could ask the vendor saying that you have not filed your returns, therefore I am kind of taking the stringent action, or you could do as you wish to. So now, with this solution, what we really feel is that you will have a greater control over your input tax credit, and if any input tax credit is not reflecting into it, you could you could have the control over you with you. And what we believe is that the investment you make in this bot would give you, and also it would improvise on the working capital position of the company. And one more thing, what this bot really does is that, let us say it has identified that there are 40 vendors who are defaulting, or 40 vendors whose invoices are not reflecting into it. Then the bot sends automated emails based on the vendor master provided by you. The bot sends automated emails to those vendors saying that your invoices are not reflecting into it. It can send such customized messages as you wish to. So what the bot really does is it takes care of end-to-end process of your prepayment validation. It takes the data, it auto downloads to it processes, and it also communicates to vendors. So it completely takes care of your process. And what you can do is you could even customize this solution according to your specific needs. So that's really about our GST input tax credit validation bot, wherein this bot can be used in various scenarios to either claim all the credits that are reflecting into it. It could also help you to achieve greater control over your input tax credit by validating it before making payment to vendors. And this bot can also be used while filing your monthly returns, wherein you can automate your process of claiming the validating and claiming the input tax credit. Hope this demo has been useful to you and you have understood well about our input tax credit bot. And if you have any questions, you can keep posting those questions in the chat. Once we have the Q&A in the end of the at the end, we will take up all those questions. So now I would request my colleague Savan Sharma to take over, and he can give you a demo on e-invoicing. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. And good evening to everyone and all. Now we can easily say that gone are the days of hectic manual tasks, and we are truly moving towards a digital era. Even the government is moving to in the same direction, as they want to completely remove the physical invoicing system and get everyone into the loop of e-invoicing. Gone are the days of traditional invoicing, where physical copies have to be printed and posted to the vendors. Now is the time for e-invoice system. And let me share quick details about the same. So GST e-invoicing system has been effective from 1st October 2020. And currently it is applicable to businesses having turnover exceeding rupees 500 crores. And subject to official notifications, sources are saying that it will be mandatory for businesses with turnover of 100 crore and above from 1st of January 2021, and will be mandatory for all from 1st of April 2021. Now this turnover also includes the inter-branch transactions as well. Only SEZ units are exempted from generation of e-invoices. But if you are supplying services or goods to an SEZ unit, then you'll be required to generate the e-invoices. Now the biggest thing in the e-invoices that the window for cancelling those generated e-invoices is only of 24 hours. Now I would like to share some technicalities of how this e-invoicing system works. So the seller from his ERP or account system will upload e-invoices in JSON format to GST portal. Now the GST portal only accepts JSON format, and the uploaded JSON will be formatted duplication checking would be done by the GST system itself. And once it ensures that on that parameter, it will process the invoices and generate a unique IRN number along with the QR code and digital signature. After generating those IRN number and QR code, it will give us an JSON format file which needs to be downloaded, and the buyer will receive the registered e-invoice via an email, while the seller can download the JSON file containing QR code and signature. Now I will give you a quick demo of the e-invoice portal, which can do this process automatically with minimum human intervention. Now this is the portal. First of all, you need to sign up on this portal, wherein you'll need to provide some basic details like username and all with your GST details, and you need to set the password and all for the same. Once it has been done, I'll quickly log in through the same. On the login page, there will be a dashboard which shows the number of invoices which have been generated throughout the day, and the number of invoices which have been cancelled, for which IRN was generated. Okay, so this user interface is totally simplified, so that there is no complexity involved in the same. You'll need to upload the invoice from here, and it has been kept a dynamic path wherein in whichever folder your Excel file is present, you can choose it from there. I'll show you the Excel format which is predefined by the government. So this is the Excel format in which the file will be uploaded. Invoices will be uploaded in bulk. You can upload the bulk invoices, or else single invoices can also be uploaded from the same. Now this contains around 72 columns. All the details have to mention over have to be mentioned in here, and not all the details are mandatory, but those with the red asterisk marks need to be compulsorily there in the file for uploading on the portal. So now that we have seen the format, I'll upload the file over here. As soon as I'll press the submit button, what it will do is it will create a JSON format, upload it on the GST portal, process the same, download the JSON format, and give us the web view of the e-invoices generated from the same. Now the output can be seen from here, e-invoice output. Right now we have generated all this, and you can quickly sort it out whichever invoices have been generated from here, from this portion. So at this point of time, whichever invoices I have generated right now will be visible over here. They will show us the acknowledgement number, acknowledgement date, the IRN generated for that invoice, which username has generated the same, and we can also have a preview of the invoice from here with barcode. Now this is what the these are the details which are given by the portal. If you wish to download this, you'll just have to press this Excel button, and it will download the Excel, all these details in an Excel format for us. So this is the Excel file which has been downloaded right now from the portal. It gives short and simple details about what has been provided to us by the GST portal. Coming back to the portal, now if you wish to have all the details which you have uploaded on this portal, and with that you want the IRN number and that, you can download it from here. It will contain the history of all the invoices you have generated over here, and simply download it. Simply download the Excel file, and it will give all the details which were uploaded previously on this invoices, all the invoices details over here, and it will give us IRN number, username, and QR code and signature, digital signature. Now, if you wish to cancel the same, any of the invoice, you'll just have to go to the portal. Suppose I need to cancel this IRN. I'll just have to go to the cancel invoice, paste the IRN number over here, enter the reason, and submit. This will give us a pop-up that your invoice has been cancelled, and if you want to verify the same that and which date the invoice has been cancelled, we can see over here. It will be marked in red, and also the date of the cancellation invoice will be available over here. Now the preview invoice, which I had shown you previously over here, this can be completely modified as per your requirement, and you can download that modified version from the portal itself. So this was all about the process which will be involved in the e-invoice. Now we can move towards question and answer session. So you can bring us your queries, and either you can put it in the chat box, or else you can unmute yourself and ask the same.
Okay. Thanks, Savan, for giving us the brief on invoicing. So while you were giving this brief, I just jotted down all the questions that were put in the chat, and I've kind of let me just take it one by one. First question is that this bot should be web-based. So that is one of the thing that is asked by the one of the user. So currently this bot is managed by RSM. Slowly, it will be web-based and available to everyone. Second question is, email will come to both of us, or that is the company and the vendor. So the question is whether the email will come to both the vendor and company. So here I think the question being asked is about our payment run feature, wherein the invoices which are not appearing in my GST at 2A, whether the email will only go to the vendor or it will go to the client company as well. So here the answer is that we have something called as client configuration sheet. In the client configuration sheet, if you whatever are the name of the email IDs you give as the company representatives, the email will go to all of those company representatives. They will be marked as CC in those emails sent to vendors. Then there's a question which basically in essence is asking whether based on narration or some field, will the bot be able to identify that a invoice is eligible or invoice is not eligible? So currently the bot does not do that. Next question asked is that the invoice generated, can it be identified separately that this is a invoice? So to answer that, we really don't know, as this is recently implemented. The next question is whether uh, e-invoice generated gets automatically populated in GSTR2A. Yes. So the moment the invoice gets generated, based on the server sync from the GSTN side, the 2A immediately gets the vendor invoice immediately gets reflected in our 2A. So I think these are the questions which, as of now, we have got. Will e-invoicing be will e-invoicing be mandatory? Yes, I mean the way in the direction in which the government is going, I think slowly it will be mandatory to everyone. Can I receive supplier e-invoice on a real-time basis? Yes. Whether we had to make e-invoice for B2C and RCM. So what we do is we keep only the technical questions now, and all the questions relating to the GST law, we will email those answers to you. Sawan, there's a question for you. After 24 hours, if you want to cancel e-invoice, how can we do that?
It's not possible. It is not possible to cancel after 24 hours. However, you can generate a credit note for the same, and that also needs to be converted to an e-invoice.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So if you want to cancel after 24 hours, it's not possible. The window is only for 24 hours. Even we have seen some cases where if you generate an invoice at 3:18 of today, then you will be able to cancel it only up to 3:18 tomorrow. That is specifically point to point, minute to minute, 24 hours is counted and not a day. Means you can't cancel it up to 12 tomorrow night.
Okay. So we have one more question. I think we have many questions. One more question. I think we'll take one or two more questions, and all the other questions. What we'll be doing is we will be answering them to you specifically over email. We have all of your email IDs. So the one or two more questions we'll be taking is: do you have any API for Tally and SAP? Sawan, do we have any API for Tally and SAP? Our software, our e-invoicing tool can integrate with Tally and SAP, right? Okay, Sawan, I think our e-invoicing tool, can it be integrated with Tally and SAP? There's a question. Okay, Sawan, you're on mute.
Yes, Mohit. The e-invoicing portal can be integrated with any ERP, including Tally and SAP.
Okay,
Both.
great.
Yeah.
Okay. I think in the interest of time, we will end the Q&A over here. And now I will request Raj. Hope everyone liked the session till now. I'll request Mr. Rajesh Mania to conclude and give us the closing remarks over here.
Yes, thank you very much, Mohit and Sawan, for answering those questions. In fact, we've been able to answer most of the questions, maybe not all of them, because of lack of time. And we'll respond back to the other questions over mail. Mohit, if you can go back to that presentation. Mohit, can you show the presentation?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So really to summarize what we have done today is the first thing is that the bot on the reconciliation is really quick in terms of onboarding the process and can help you in ensuring the reconciliation to ensure that the missed input credits, if any for financial year 1920, are completed by October 20th. In fact, the turnaround time that we estimate for doing this is just 1 day. So even if you internally have any of the reconciliation processes or reconciliation tools, what you can do is just in 1 day's time, use our bot and do a validation of what you internally have. So it's really a quick, immediate tool that you can put into use straight away to help you ensure that the 20th October deadline is met with. The second aspect to highlight is that the way the bot has been built with a combination of features, which is ease of input, nearly zero turnaround time in terms of working hours, the accuracy and the user friendliness, is all towards ensuring that the finance and the operations functions of any company worked towards ensuring that the optimal use of working capital is used in terms of the input credit. So, really we see that, companies have challenges to ensure that the supply chain is not disrupted. At the same time, the finance functions objective to ensure that the working capital blockage is minimal and the loss of input credit is avoided. Those two aspects need to be working in sync. And in order for you to do that, what is really required is these features, which is ease of input, zero working hours turnaround time, accuracy of the output, and the user friendliness. As Mohit explained in detail, the output of the bot is very, very user friendly and can be used to analyze and take actions upon. So with these combination of features, the investment that you may make in terms of the bot will, give you an outturn or an outcome which is far more, multiplier of whatever investment you make. The third aspect to highlight is that the tool that we have is really configurable and flexible even further. We made it really flexible from both input, output, and turnaround time perspective. But if there are any specific requirements, they can be definitely met with. So really, what we suggest is that, as corporates, use a combination of strategy, which is, if your vendor is independent, which is, the vendor is not sort of coming on board with invoicing, then you use your input credit bot to ensure that your inputs are not lost with before making the payment. And those vendors who are dependent on you and can actually go into the invoicing route, get them onboarded on invoicing, and with a combination of this strategy, ensure that your roadmap or your GST process is aligned to the GST Council's roadmap, and hence you are actually not only compliant, but also you use your working capital optimally and don't lose your input credit. So really, that's the strategy that we would recommend. If we can go to the next slide. The input credit validation solution can be used in any of the modes, either as a managed service model or on-premises model or on cloud. There are three options that we have that can be used by corporates. The first option is the one that we recommend, which would involve a monthly fee, which can be discontinued at any time with a small setup fee. The reason for recommending the option to start with is to ensure that there is adequate support and proper integration, especially when the data volumes can run into millions of lines. So you could start with that option one, and in the next step, move to option 2 or 3, depending on your requirement, which may involve a small, longer-term commitment and investment from your side. Again, we would request you to look at the October 20th deadline and avoid missing any 1920 credits using the bot, and use this opportunity to actually understand the solution in greater detail for a longer term deployment, and which we're sure that you're going to be able to get a value addition from that approach. If you have any queries with respect to the bot, which is the input credit bot, please write to us at bot@astuteconsulting.com, and we'll be happy to answer questions, or reach out to any of our members in RSM, and we'll be happy to revert back to you. In terms of the e-invoicing, we have the cloud solution and the on-premises solution. For the portal, for the e-invoicing portal, the following add-on features can, of course, be done, which is customization and integration, as I just mentioned. And the portal and the solution can be deployed in your premises. We can indeed get into other technical assistance. We have a very strong team in the IT solutions arena, and we can be of assistance supporting you along with any of your ERP systems. Please write to us at savan.sharma@astuteconsulting.com, or reach out to any of our members for further details. So really that's our presentation webinar today. We hope this was useful to you, and we hope that we will be able to do justice to the time that you spent on this webinar. We really appreciate your time taking part in the session. I thank all of my colleagues, Nirav Jogani, Mohit Pariyar, Savan Sharma, for taking all of you through this. And I thank all the guests for coming on board, and wish you a very good day, and wish you good in terms of complying with GST. Thank you very much.